I should have known something was wrong the moment Rena smiled at me. My daughter doesn't smile at me anymore. She tolerates me. She manages me like one of her brand partnerships, all surface-level pleasantness with an expiration date already printed on the label. But that Thanksgiving afternoon, standing in the doorway of her over-designed house with its Instagram-perfect autumn wreath, she smiled. Wide, genuine-looking, terrifying. Before we continue, we ask you to hit the hype button, subscribe, and like the video to help the channel grow. Tell us which city you are from in the comments. We would like to get to know our audience better. Dad, you made it! She pulled me into a hug that smelled like expensive perfume and calculation. Come in, come in. Trent's been asking about you. Trent had never asked about me in his life. Kara squeezed my hand as we stepped inside. My wife has better instincts than I do. She'd wanted to skip this dinner entirely, told me 3 times on the drive over that something felt off. But Rena was our daughter, our only child. And despite everything, I kept hoping we'd find our way back to something real. The house was packed. Rena's influencer friends clustered near the windows, phones angled to catch golden hour light. Trent's powerlifting crew dominated the living room, thick-necked guys in compression shirts discussing macros and supplement stacks. Calvin, there he is! Trent's voice boomed across the room. He clapped me on the shoulder hard enough to make my teeth click. The dirt doctor himself. How's the exciting world of soil contamination? His teammates laughed. They always laughed. Steady, I said. Someone's got to keep the groundwater clean. Right. Essential work. He winked at one of his friends. We were just talking about my qualifier on Monday. National stage finally. This is the one that puts me in the rankings that actually matter. I nodded. Kara drifted toward the kitchen where Rena was arranging appetizers with jeweler's precision. I stayed with the powerlifters, half listening, watching the room. Old habit from field work. You learn to notice patterns, discrepancies, things that don't fit the ecosystem. What didn't fit. Rena kept glancing at Trent, then at me, then at her phone, checking something, timing something. What didn't fit? Trent's hand on her lower back when he passed, not affectionate, but directing. Move here, stand there, perform. What didn't fit? The paperwork on the counter behind the cheese board. Official-looking documents, partially hidden under a decorative towel. Dinner's ready. Rena's voice had that brittle brightness of someone who'd rehearsed the announcement. The table was a production. Fall-themed centerpieces, name cards in calligraphy, 3 types of wine. Her phone sat propped on a decorative stand, live-streaming everything to her followers. The American dream, curated and filtered. I ended up between Kara and one of Rena's influencer friends, a girl named Madison. Across from me, Trent held court, describing his training regimen like a military campaign. The discipline is everything, he was saying. Your body's a machine. You fuel it right, it performs. You let it get contaminated with garbage, it fails. Simple as that. I caught Kara's eye. She'd heard it too. That word. Contaminated. Then came dessert. I made Dad's favorite, Rena announced, carrying out a tray of individual cakes. Remember these, Dad? I didn't remember them. Rena hadn't baked anything since high school. She set one in front of me with a flourish. Chocolate, 2 layers, cream filling. It looked professional, store-bought professional. That's so sweet, Madison cooed. You made these yourself? Of course. Rena's smile didn't reach her eyes. For my dad. Trent was already digging into his. But I saw it now, the way Rena watched me, the way Trent's eyes flicked to the paperwork, the way her hand trembled as she lifted her phone to capture me taking the first bite. 25 years of field work teaches you to trust your gut about toxic environments. I picked up my fork. Looks amazing, sweetheart. You know what, though? I'm so full. Trent, you want this? I know you need the calories for Monday. Dad, I made it for you. Her voice had an edge now. I know, and I appreciate it. But for Trent's training, that's useful fuel. I slid the plate across the table. Trent hesitated. Rena's face had gone rigid. Come on, man, one of his teammates said. Don't insult the man's daughter. It's fine, Trent said quickly. Too quickly. Yeah, sure, I can make room. He pulled the plate over. Appreciate it, Calvin. I watched him eat. 3 bites. 4, halfway through the slice. Rena had gone pale. She kept looking at her phone, at Trent, at the door. Kara leaned close. What did you just do? Returned a gift. 10 minutes later, Trent's fork clattered to his plate. His face had changed color. Gray-green, like old meat. His hand went to his throat. His eyes widened. Babe? Rena's voice pitched high. Trent? He tried to stand. His chair scraped back. He made a sound like choking, like drowning in air. Then the chaos started. People shouting, someone calling 911, Madison shrieking, Trent on his knees, gasping, his teammates surrounding him. Rena frozen, staring not at her husband but at her phone, still live streaming, catching every second. I stayed in my seat. Kara's hand found mine under the table. The ambulance arrived. Paramedics swarmed in, professional and fast. They got Trent on a stretcher, oxygen mask on, vitals stabilizing. Severe allergic reaction, I heard one of them say. As they wheeled him past me, Trent's eyes met mine. Just for a second. And in that second, I saw him understand. Not what I'd done, not yet. But that something had broken, some protection he'd thought he had. The house emptied fast. Crisis terminates a party quicker than anything. Kara and I sat alone at the table, surrounded by abandoned desserts. "Tell me you didn't," she said. "I didn't do anything. I just gave him what was meant for me." She was quiet for a long moment. "Calvin, what was in that cake?" "I don't know, but I'm guessing something that reacts badly with Trent's supplement stack. Maybe that artificial sweetener he's allergic to. The one Rena knows about. The one she uses in all her low-calorie recipes." "Oh, God." "They wanted me weak tonight, Kara. They needed me compromised. Those papers on the counter? Loan documents. More obligation they want to bury me under." I stood, picking up my coat. They set a table for me. I just changed the seating arrangement. We drove home in silence. Through the window, the autumn evening looked normal. Peaceful, but I could feel it starting. That shift in pressure before a storm. My phone buzzed. A text from Rena. "Dad, what happened? Is Trent okay? Why did you switch plates? What did you do?" I turned the phone off. They'd wanted me gone. Incapacitated. Desperate enough to sign anything. Instead, something else had broken. And I was just getting started. The first time Trent called me the eco-grandpa, I laughed it off. It was 8 months ago, at a charity gym event. Trent was demonstrating deadlift form when I walked past. "Hey, everyone," Trent called out. "That's my father-in-law, Calvin the ecologist, spends his whole day studying dirt. Actual dirt. For a living." The crowd chuckled. Good-natured, harmless. "Someone's got to keep the water clean," I'd said. Right. Essential work." That dismissive tone. Meanwhile, some of us are building actual strength, actual discipline. More laughter. I'd smiled and kept walking. It was just a joke. Sons-in-law bus chops. Except it wasn't just a joke. Over the following months, the comments kept coming. At family dinners, at birthday parties, always in front of other people, always with that edge of contempt wrapped in humor. Calvin measures pH levels in creek water. Real adrenaline rush stuff. "The dirt doctor's here. Hide your houseplants." Rena never stopped him. She'd laugh along, sometimes adding her own. "Dad's very passionate about soil contamination. We heard about it for 3 hours at Christmas. Elimination by 1,000 cuts. Each one small enough to make you look petty for objecting. But it wasn't about sensitivity. It was about something else. Something I didn't understand until Kara showed me the screenshots. It was a Tuesday evening, 3 months before Thanksgiving. I'd just gotten home from a week-long field assessment. Exhausting work, good work. Kara was at the kitchen table with her laptop open. She'd been crying. "What's wrong?" She turned the screen toward me. Rena sent these to her group chat. One of her friends thought I should see them. Private messages. 20 or 30 people, all influencers or fitness types from Rena's circle. "Rena, I swear my parents don't understand the real world. Dad studies dirt for a living. Dirt. Like that's a career. Trent, at least he's consistent. Dragged himself up from nothing, still acts like nothing's good enough. Rena, and they're always on me about money, like sorry your career choices left you broke, but that's not my problem. Madison, OMG, that's so toxic. You don't owe them anything. Rena, thank you. They're just jealous we're actually successful. Trent, your old man's got that victim mentality. It's pathetic." There was more, pages of it. Mocking my clothes, my truck, my Tupperware habit. Rena complaining about visiting us, calling our house depressing, wondering how soon before we'd need financial support from her. The worst part wasn't the cruelty, it was the casualness, the ease with which they demolished me for entertainment. "How long?" I asked. "Based on timestamps? At least a year." I closed the laptop. My hands were shaking. Over the next weeks, I started seeing it everywhere. The way Rena never asked about my work, except to set up Trent for another joke. The way she'd forget to invite us to events, then post about them online. The way money conversations always circled back to how hard things were for her. And then came the loan. It started small. Dad, Trent and I are expanding his coaching business. We need a cosigner, just a formality. You won't actually pay anything. I said no. Kara said no. We didn't have that cushion? Rena cried. Real tears, or real looking. You don't believe in us. You never believed in me. Trent was gentler, more strategic. Calvin, I get it. It's scary. But this is a sure thing. 3 months, we'll refinance in our own names. You'll be clear. The pressure was constant, professional, relentless. Finally, I signed. Told myself it was to keep peace. The commercial space never materialized. The loan got transferred to something else, then something else again. The paperwork got complicated, full of addendums and clauses I didn't understand. By Thanksgiving, I was on the hook for $43,000 I didn't have, for a business that didn't exist, funding a lifestyle I'd never been invited to share. Kara found more screenshots. Trent telling his buddies, I've got the old man over a barrel. He signed without reading the fine print. Classic boomer move. Rena to a friend. They're useless unless they're paying for something. That's basically their role now. That's when I stopped sleeping. Started running scenarios. Fight it legally. Expensive and relationship destroying. Pay it off. Impossible without liquidating retirement. Declare insolvency. Its own nightmare. I was trapped. They knew it. And they were preparing the next trap. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, Kara discovered the next phase. She'd gone to their house to drop off photos. Nobody home, door unlocked. She saw documents on Trent's desk. She photographed them. We read them together. Another loan? $75,000. A down payment on a house they couldn't afford. My name already filled in as cosigner, waiting for my signature. They'll bring it up at Thanksgiving, Kara said. That's why Rena made sure we came. They'll put you on the spot, make you feel obligated in front of everyone so you can't refuse without looking bad. I'll say no anyway. They won't let you. You know how they work. I did know. The manipulation, the guilt, the social pressure, the gaslighting, the steady erosion of boundaries until you didn't know where you ended and their demands began. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in my home office looking at field notebooks, 25 years of contamination assessments, soil samples, water quality reports, remediation plans. My whole career was about identifying toxins, understanding spread, containing them before they poisoned entire ecosystems. I'd spent my life cleaning up other people's messes. Maybe it was time to do the same with my family. I started researching Trent's competition schedule, his dietary restrictions, his supplement routine, the artificial sweetener allergy he'd mentioned once, the one that sent him to emergency last year. The allergy Rena definitely knew about because she'd been there, because she had posted about it online. The same artificial sweetener she used in all her healthy desserts. I never intended to hurt him. I'm not someone who resorts to aggression, but I did plan to break his perfect preparation, his flawless routine, his precious qualifier, because I finally understood what this was really about. Not money, control. They needed me weak, desperate, dependent. They needed me to believe I had no other choice. So I decided to show them what happens when you contaminate the wrong ecosystem. At Thanksgiving, when Rena set that cake in front of me with her fake smile and real malice, I knew exactly what was in it, knew exactly what it would do to Trent's meticulously calibrated system, and I gave it back to him. Not as revenge, not yet, as a warning. The hospital waiting room smelled like industrial cleaner and bad coffee. I sat in those uncomfortable plastic chairs, watching Rena pace by the vending machines while she argued with someone on her phone. Kara had wanted to leave. I'd told her to wait in the car. This part I needed to see. Trent's teammates clustered near the nurse's station, looking lost. One kept checking his phone, probably alerting their whole network. The ER doctor came out first. Young guy, tired eyes. He spoke quietly to Rena, explaining something with hand gestures I couldn't read from across the room. Then came another doctor, older, different energy, clipboard and severe expression, and finally, the person I'd been waiting for, Derek Flood, Trent's coach. I recognized him from Rena's social media. 60-something, former national champion, with that weathered intensity of someone who'd built a career on discipline and precision. He walked like a general approaching a battlefield casualty, and his face said the casualty was already lost. He went straight to Rena. Their conversation was too quiet to hear, but I didn't need audio. His body language told everything. Harsh gestures, pointing at his watch, shaking his head, Rena trying to interrupt, him talking over her. Then he raised his voice. Just enough. 4 days, Rena. 4 days before the national qualifier. You understand what this means? His system is compromised. His training cycle is broken. Even if he's medically cleared, which he won't be, his body won't recover in time. He's done. Disqualified. Finished. One of the teammates stepped forward. Coach, maybe? There's no maybe. The Federation has strict protocols. Any severe allergic episode within a week of competition means automatic withdrawal. Liability issue. He turned back to Rena. 6 months of preparation. 6 months. And you feed him something that nearly sends him into shock? I didn't know. You knew. He told me about the restaurant incident last year. You were there. And tonight you give him cake with the exact same ingredient. It wasn't meant for him. It was for my father. Wrong thing to say. Derek's eyes went cold. So you made a dessert with something your husband is severely allergic to and just left it on the table? That's your explanation? Rena's face crumpled. It was supposed to be... She stopped. Caught herself. Too late. Derek stared. Supposed to be what? The teammates were watching now. Everyone was watching. Nothing. I'm just stressed. I wasn't thinking clearly. No, you weren't. Derek turned to the teammates. Someone text me when he's discharged. We'll discuss next steps. He looked back at Rena, disgust crossing his face. He gave up a college scholarship to go professional, put every dollar into training, and you just torched it all. He left, walked right past me without a glance. The collapse had begun. Trent emerged an hour later, looking diminished. Steroids, antihistamines, fluids. His face was puffy, movements careful. When he saw Rena, something in his expression hardened. We need to talk, he said. Baby, I'm so sorry. Not here. They left together, Rena trying to take his arm, Trent pulling away. His teammates followed at a distance, exchanging looks that said everything about whose side they were on. I waited until they were gone. Then I went to my truck. How bad? Kara asked. He's out of the competition. Career damage probably catastrophic. Coach thinks Rena sabotaged him deliberately. Did she? I started the engine. She meant to sabotage me. The intent's the same. At home, I couldn't settle. Kept moving through the house, organizing, mind-running calculations. Kara went to bed around midnight. I stayed up, laptop open, researching. At 2 a.m, my phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Mr. Rourke, this is Madison, Rena's friend. Can we talk? I called. She answered immediately. Thank you for calling back. I know this is weird. I just thought you should know something. I'm listening. The live stream tonight. It's going crazy. Not in a good way. People are asking questions, like why did Rena make a cake with an ingredient her husband's allergic to? Why was she so focused on making sure her dad ate it? Why did she look angry when you gave it to Trent? The comments are brutal. I said nothing. And I remembered something. Last week, Rena and I were prepping content. She was stressed, talking to Trent on the phone. I only heard her side, but she said, once the papers are signed, we're clear. He won't be able to back out. I thought she meant a business contract. But now? Mr. Rourke, were they trying to hurt you tonight? Why would my daughter want to hurt me? I don't know, but I've been doing this 3 years. I know when content's authentic and when it's performance. Tonight felt like performance. Scripted, like Rena was following a plan. She paused. Some of us in Rena's circle have been noticing things. The way she talks about you, the way Trent talks about you. It's not normal. It's like you're not a person to them. You're a resource. That's a strong word. It's the right word. And after tonight, some of us are reconsidering our associations. Rena's getting dropped from a collaboration I'm running. I can't have that energy around my brand. I appreciate you telling me this. There's one more thing. Haley Stirk, Rena's boss, she was watching the live stream. She's furious. She's been trying to reach Rena all night. I think Rena's about to have a very bad Friday. After we hung up, I sat in the dark kitchen for a long time. I hadn't expected collateral damage to spread this fast. One contamination event, Trent's collapse, captured on video, broadcast to thousands, had triggered a chain reaction I was only beginning to understand. My phone buzzed again. Text from Rena. Dad, we need to talk. Tomorrow, please. I didn't respond. Saturday morning, Kara found me in the garage, organizing field equipment. Rena called me 6 times last night, she said. Trent called twice. They want to meet. No. Calvin, we have to deal with this eventually. We are dealing with it. We're letting it play out. Letting what play out? I set down the soil probe. You know what I do? I identify contamination, find the source, trace the spread, calculate damage. Then I contain it. Cut off the supply, isolate the toxin, let natural systems process what's left. I looked at her. That's all this is. Containment. This isn't soil. This is our daughter. Our daughter tried to poison me so I'd be desperate enough to sign away our retirement. Kara flinched. You don't know that for sure. I know she made a cake with an ingredient that causes severe reactions. I know she pushed hard for me to eat it. I know loan documents were on her counter, ready for my signature. I know she and Trent spent months setting me up as weak and pathetic. I picked up another probe. That's enough data for a conclusion. So what now? We let the ecosystem correct itself. Trent's already turning on her. His coach thinks she sabotaged him. Her friends are questioning her. Her boss is furious. The pressure's building from every direction. I met her eyes. We didn't create this situation. We just stopped being the solution to it. She left without another word. Sunday afternoon, Derek Flood posted on his coaching blog a long piece about athlete preparation, professionalism, and environmental control. He didn't name Trent, but anyone in that community would know. A competitor's greatest enemy isn't their opponent. It's chaos in their support system. When family or partners introduce instability, whether through carelessness, neglect, or malice, the damage can be catastrophic and permanent. I've seen careers end not in the gym, but at the dinner table. The post got shared everywhere. Trent's teammates added comments. The powerlifting community discussed it, and somewhere in those conversations, Rena's name came up. Her Instagram, the live stream, the cake. By Sunday evening, she'd lost 4,000 followers. Monday morning, the day Trent should have been competing, Kara showed me a text from Rena's friend Jess. Haley fired her. Official termination, effective immediately. Rena's losing everything. I should have felt vindicated, triumphant. Instead, I just felt cold. Is this what you wanted? Kara asked. I wanted them to stop hurting us. This is what that looks like. My phone rang. Trent. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Calvin. His voice was rough, exhausted. We need to meet. Tonight, 7 o'clock. The gym parking lot on Route 46. Why? Because you and I are going to have a conversation, and you're going to explain what you did. I didn't do anything, Trent. You swapped plates. You knew what was in that cake. You knew what it would do to me. I gave you a dessert my daughter made. If it had something in it that hurt you, take it up with her. His voice dropped, went dangerous. 7 o'clock. Be there, or I'll come to your house and we'll have this conversation in front of your wife. He hung up. Kara was staring at me. You're not actually going. I am? He's going to hurt you. He's going to try. The gym parking lot was mostly empty when I arrived at 6:45. I parked under a streetlight where security cameras would have a clear view. Field habit. Always document your environment. Trent's truck rolled in at exactly 7. He got out slowly, still moving like someone recovering. The steroids had reduced swelling, but he looked hollowed out, diminished. He walked toward me with aggressive posture. But it was all performance now. Armor over damage. You got nerve showing up, he said. You asked me to be here. I told you to be here. There's a difference. He stopped a few feet away, using his size to intimidate. Now you're going to tell me exactly what you did, and then you're going to sign those loan papers and make this right. I'm not signing anything. Wrong answer. He stepped closer. You think you're smart? All you did was ruin my qualifier. That's fixable. I'll train harder, compete next cycle, rebuild. But you just declared war on the wrong person. I didn't declare anything. You've been at war with me since you married my daughter. I just stopped pretending we were family. His jaw clenched. You're going to regret this conversation. Probably, but not as much as you will. He moved then, faster than I expected. A grab, trying to get hold of my jacket, pull me in close where his size would matter. But I'd spent 30 years scrambling over contaminated sites, rough terrain. You learn to move efficiently, use leverage instead of strength. I sidestepped. His momentum carried him past me. He caught himself, turned, face flushed with rage and humiliation. Stand still, old man. Why? So you can feel better? So you can tell Rena you scared me into submission? I kept my distance, circling. That's what this is really about. You need me afraid. You need me broken. Because if I'm not, then what does that say about you? He lunged again. This time I let him get close, then twisted, used his own force to send him stumbling into his truck door. Not brutal, just physics. He went down on one knee, breathing hard. From exertion or the lingering effects of Thursday night, I couldn't tell. Didn't matter. You're pathetic, he said. You know that? Pathetic old man with your pathetic job and your pathetic life. Rena's embarrassed by you. Everyone's embarrassed by you. And yet here you are, on your knees in a parking lot, unable to take down a 58-year-old ecologist. I stayed out of range. How's that national qualifier treating you, Trent? Oh, wait, you don't have one anymore? Because you ate a cake meant for me. His face twisted. You did this. You ruined everything. No, you and Rena did this. You spent months setting me up, mocking me, stealing from me, planning to trap me into more obligation. All I did was swap plates. The rest? That's on you. I'll make you pay for this. You already tried. Look how that worked out. I turned and walked to my truck, got in, started the engine. Through the windshield, I watched him struggle to his feet, watched him realize that his teammates had been right there in the gym, watching through the windows, watching their national-level competitor get humiliated by an old man in a parking lot. As I drove away, I saw him check his phone, saw his face change as he read whatever was on the screen. The ecosystem was correcting itself faster than I'd calculated, and we were just getting started. Tuesday morning, Rena showed up at our house. I was in the garage when I heard the doorbell. Kara answered. Through the window, I watched them on the porch. Rena looked destroyed. Hair unwashed, makeup-free, wearing sweatpants I recognized from high school. Not the curated influencer, just a scared woman. Please, Mom, I need to talk to Dad. Kara glanced toward the garage. I shook my head. He doesn't want to see you right now, honey. This is my life falling apart. Everything's gone. Haley fired me, my collaborations are canceled, Trent moved out, and people are saying horrible things online. I need help. You needed help when you baked that cake? Rena's face crumpled. That wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be different. Different how? Silence. Long, damning silence. Go home, Rena. Mom, please, go home. Kara closed the door, came to the garage. Her hands were shaking. I just shut the door on our daughter. Our daughter tried to poison me. You shut the door on someone who would have destroyed us. What if she tries something? What if she's desperate? Then she'll learn what desperation actually feels like. That afternoon, I got a call from Ray Vaughn, an old colleague who'd left the environmental agency 5 years ago to drive truck. We'd stayed in touch, occasional beers and war stories about contamination sites. Calvin, saw something interesting today. Thought you should know. What's that? Your son-in-law, Trent Hale, saw him at a storage facility on Route 7, loading his stuff into a unit. Looked rough, real rough. Was with some guy, overheard them talking about finding a new place, something about his wife being toxic. Appreciate the heads up, Ray. Everything okay with you folks? Define okay. Fair enough. Listen, you need anything, and I mean anything, you let me know. I owe you for that groundwater report that saved my brother's property value. I'll keep that in mind. After we hung up, I sat with that information. Trent was in storage unit territory now, one step above homeless, his perfect life dismantled in 4 days. But I wasn't done. Wednesday, I made a call I'd been planning since Sunday. Haley Stirk's office number was public information. She ran a lifestyle brand agency that employed about 30 influencers, Rena included, until Monday. Her assistant answered. Professional, cautious. Ms. Stirk doesn't typically take unsolicited calls. Tell her it's Calvin Rourke, Rena Rourke Hale's father. I have information about the Thanksgiving incident that might interest her from a liability perspective. 2 minutes later, Haley was on the line. Sharp voice, no-nonsense energy. Mr. Rourke, I'm very sorry about what happened at your family dinner. Are you? Or are you sorry it was live-streamed to 4,000 people? Pause. Let's say both. What information do you have? The cake that caused Trent Hale's allergic reaction. It contained an artificial sweetener he's severely allergic to. Rena knows about this allergy, has known for over a year. There are screenshots of her discussing it online after a previous incident. I'm aware. I've seen the posts. What you might not be aware of is that the cake was specifically prepared for me, not Trent. Rena made a significant effort to ensure I ate it. When I gave it to Trent instead, she became visibly distressed. Longer pause. What are you suggesting? I'm not suggesting anything. I'm providing facts. Rena prepared food containing a known allergen. She intended a specific person to consume it. That person happened to have co-signed financial documents Rena and Trent needed executed that evening. Documents that person had been resisting for weeks. Are you saying your daughter attempted to? I'm saying you might want to review whether keeping Rena's termination quiet serves your brand's interests, or whether a more public statement about your agency's zero-tolerance policy for dangerous behavior might be appropriate, especially given the live stream evidence and community discussion. Mr. Rourke, are you trying to destroy your own daughter? My daughter tried to destroy me first. I'm just making sure the ecosystem stays contaminated for anything she tries to plant next. I hung up. 20 minutes later, Haley's agency released a statement on all their social platforms. We have terminated our relationship with Rena Rourke-Hale effective immediately. Recent events have demonstrated a pattern of behavior inconsistent with our brand values and community standards. We take the safety and integrity of our platform seriously and will not tolerate actions that endanger others. The statement went viral in the influencer community within an hour. Rena's remaining followers dropped from 12,000 to 3,000 by evening. Kara found me in my office, reading the comments on Haley's post. People were brutal, speculating, investigating, sharing old screenshots of Rena's posts. The internet had its teeth in her now. You called her boss, Kara said. You actively made it worse. I actively protected us from the next scheme. You think Rena's done? You think she won't try to manipulate her way back, use sympathy, play the victim? So you're scorching the earth. I'm making sure nothing grows back. Thursday, Trent posted on his powerlifting social media a long, bitter message about betrayal, sabotage, and the importance of choosing your circle carefully. He didn't name Rena, but everyone knew. When someone you trust destroys your dreams through carelessness or malice, you learn a hard lesson about loyalty. I gave up everything for a partnership that turned out to be poison. To my competitors, vet your support system harder than you vet your supplement stack. To my former support system, you know what you did. Comments flooded in. Support for Trent, disgust toward Rena. Derek Flood commented, Proud of you for speaking your truth. Real strength is knowing when to cut losses. By Thursday evening, Rena had lost another 2,000 followers. Friday morning, she called me. First time since Thanksgiving, I let it go to voicemail. Dad, please, I know you're angry. I know I messed up. But this is destroying me. I can't get work. I can't show my face online. Trent's turned everyone against me. I need help. I need someone on my side. Please call me back. I deleted the message. Friday afternoon, Ray called again. Your son-in-law's working at a supplement store now. Planet Nutrition on Route 46. Saw him behind the counter, looking miserable. Thought you'd want to know. Thanks, Ray. Saturday, I drove past Planet Nutrition. Didn't go in, then just wanted to see. Trent was visible through the window, wearing a company polo, helping some teenager pick out protein powder. His face was flat, lifeless. 4 weeks ago, he was a national-level competitor. Now he was retail. The ecosystem had corrected itself. But I still wasn't done. Sunday morning, Kara came into my office with her laptop. You need to see this. She opened a private forum for influencers, one of those closed communities where they share strategies and warn each other about problematic partnerships. Someone had posted about Rena, and the comments were extensive. User Jessica Fit2K. Worked with Rena last year. She tried to get me to sponsor a weight loss tea that was basically laxatives. When I refused, she posted passive-aggressive stories about people who don't support friends. Dodged a bullet. User Wellness with Tasha. Her engagement numbers were always suspicious. I checked once, she'd bought followers, like thousands of them. User Madison Beauty Box. I was at that Thanksgiving dinner. The whole thing was staged. She even told me where to stand for optimal lighting. When her dad gave that cake to Trent, she looked genuinely angry. Not worried, angry. The thread went on for pages. Other influencers sharing their experiences with Rena. The lies, the manipulations, the fake metrics. The community was excavating her entire history. This is brutal, Kara said. They're destroying her reputation completely. They're sharing their experiences. There's a difference. Is there? Calvin, you set this in motion. You called Haley. You knew what would happen. I protected us from further attacks. That's all. No, this is revenge. And it's working. But at what cost? I closed the laptop. The cost of our retirement savings, the cost of our dignity, the cost of living under their control for the next 20 years while they bled us dry. That cost? She didn't answer. Monday, I received an email from a lawyer representing Trent. Formal, cold, threatening legal action regarding defamatory statements and intentional interference with business relationships. I forwarded it to the attorney who'd helped us with our will 5 years ago, Frank Morrison. He called within an hour. Calvin, what exactly happened at this Thanksgiving dinner? I explained everything. The loan trap, the screenshots, the cake, the plate swap, all of it. Frank was quiet for a long moment. So your daughter prepared food containing a known allergen, pressured you to eat it, and had loan documents ready for you to sign while you were potentially incapacitated? That's my interpretation of the evidence. And you simply gave that food to someone else, who then had a reaction to his own allergy? Correct. Calvin, Trent doesn't have a case at all. If anything, you might have a case against them for attempted fraud, elder manipulation, financial abuse. You want to go that route? No, I just want them out of our lives. Then I'll send a response that makes it very clear pursuing this would be a catastrophic mistake for him. Don't worry about this email. He's desperate and flailing. After we hung up, I sat with that. Trent was desperate and flailing. Rena was desperate and flailing. The ecosystem had corrected itself, and they were the organisms that couldn't adapt. Tuesday brought a surprise visitor, Derek Flood. I was working in the garage when a car pulled up. He got out slowly, moving like someone with old injuries, and approached the open garage door. Mr. Rourke, Derek Flood. We haven't officially met. I know who you are. What can I do for you? I wanted to apologize. That caught me off guard. For what? For not seeing it sooner. Trent's situation. His support system was toxic, and I missed it. I should have recognized the signs. How could you have known? I've been coaching for 30 years. You learn to read people, but I was focused on his performance, not his life. And that's on me. He leaned against his car. I also wanted to tell you something. Trent came to see me yesterday. Begged me to take him back, give him another chance. Said he'd train harder than ever, that he'd learned from this. What did you say? I said no, because he didn't take responsibility. He blamed Rena for everything. And while she certainly shares responsibility, Trent made his own choices. He enabled her. He participated in whatever scheme they had running. He's not a victim. He's a casualty of his own poor judgment. Why are you telling me this? Derek looked at me with those evaluating eyes. Because I've been hearing things. About what really happened that night. About loan documents, about manipulation, about a setup that backfired. And I'm thinking you're smarter than anyone gave you credit for. I'm just an ecologist. Right, and I'm just a coach. He pushed off the car. Whatever you did, however you did it, I want you to know something. In my world, we talk about cutting weight, about sacrifice, about doing whatever it takes to compete. But we also talk about integrity. You don't step on the scale with illegal advantages. You don't poison your competition. He met my eyes. I think Trent and Rena tried to poison their competition, and I think their competition was you. And I think you won. He drove away before I could respond. Wednesday, Rena tried one more time. She showed up at Kara's book editing office downtown, made a scene in the lobby. Security had to escort her out. Kara came home shaking. She screamed at me, in front of everyone, said we destroyed her life, that we were supposed to be her parents, that we owed her support. What did you say? Nothing. I just let security handle it. Good. Good? Calvin, she's falling apart. Actually falling apart. And we're just watching. We're letting natural consequences happen. There's a difference. I'm not sure there is anymore. That night, lying in bed, Kara asked the question I'd been avoiding. When does it stop? When we're safe. Are we safe now? I thought about the loan documents I'd frozen through the bank, the co-signatures I'd legally revoked with Frank's help, the financial traps dismantled, the social network that had turned against them, the career prospects demolished. The isolation complete. Almost, I said, but I knew the truth. It wouldn't stop until I'd made sure they could never come back, never rebuild, never threaten us again. The final phase was just beginning. Thursday morning, I made the drive to Route 46, to Planet Nutrition, to Trent. He was restocking protein powder when I walked in. His face went through several emotions when he saw me. Surprise, anger, calculation, fear. Calvin. He set down the container slowly. What are you doing here? We need to talk. I've got nothing to say to you. That's fine. You can just listen. I leaned against the counter, keeping my voice conversational. I went through the loan documents, all of them, with a lawyer. Found some interesting things. His jaw tightened. Such as? Like the fact that you falsified my signature on 3 different documents. Like the fact that you moved funds into personal accounts without permission. Like the fact that you engaged in financial misconduct, fraud, and exploitation of an elderly person. I watched his face lose all color. My lawyer says we have a strong case for criminal charges. He says the prosecutor would be thrilled to take this on. Clear evidence, a very compelling victim. You wouldn't. Wouldn't I? You tried to poison me, Trent. You and Rena set me up to be incapacitated so I'd sign away my retirement. Why wouldn't I press charges? He looked around the empty store. What do you want? I want you to sign something. I pulled papers from my jacket. Full confession of the loan fraud, written statement acknowledging the Thanksgiving setup, and a permanent relinquishment of any claim to any family assets, present or future. That's insane. That's insurance. You sign this, I don't file criminal charges. You refuse, I make a call to the police, and you're looking at 5 to 10 years. Your choice. His hands were shaking. This is blackmail. No. Blackmail would be me demanding money. This is me giving you a choice between accountability and consequences. Very different. He read through the documents. His face went through several shades of pale. If I sign this, Rena will... Rena's not your concern anymore. You made that clear when you left her. She's going to try to come after you. She's obsessed. She thinks you ruined her life. Did I? He looked at me. Really looked at me. No. We did. We got greedy. We thought you were weak. We thought we could take everything and you'd just let it happen. Why? Because everyone else did. Her whole life, Rena got what she wanted. Parents who never said no, teachers who gave her breaks, guys who fell over themselves for her. And I was the same way. I got opportunities because of my size, my talent. We both thought the world owed us. And now? Now I'm restocking protein powder at minimum wage and living in a storage unit. He picked up the pen. What happens after I sign this? You leave, move somewhere else, start over, and you never contact me, Kara, or Rena again. What about Rena? Rena's my problem, not yours. He signed. Every page, every line. When he finished, he slid the documents across the counter. For what it's worth, that cake wasn't my idea. I didn't even know about it until she set it on the table. She told me later it was supposed to make you feel sick enough to be compliant, but not enough to hospitalize you. She got the dosage wrong. Dosage? The sweetener. She calculated based on normal tolerance, not your specific metabolism. When you gave it to me, it hit my allergy hard because my system was already stressed from weight cutting. So she was trying to poison me. She was trying to manipulate you. There's a difference. He met my eyes. But yeah, she was willing to hurt you to get what she wanted, and I was okay with it because I'd benefit. We're both guilty. I took the documents. One more thing. The video from the parking lot. Your teammates filmed you trying to attack me. I know. They sent it to everyone. I want that footage deleted. All copies, every device. I can't control what other people... Figure it out. Because if that video ever surfaces online, this document goes straight to the police. Understood? He nodded. I left him there, surrounded by supplements and shattered dreams. Friday, I received a package via courier, a USB drive from one of Trent's teammates with a note. All copies deleted as requested. We're sorry we didn't see what was happening. Your daughter and Trent deserved each other. I destroyed the drive without watching it. Saturday morning, Rena called again. I answered this time. Dad, finally. I've been trying to reach you for days. I know. I need help. Real help. I can't pay rent. I can't get work. Trent's gone. My friends are gone. Everything's gone. You have to help me. I don't have to do anything. I'm your daughter. My daughter tried to poison me so I'd sign fraudulent loan documents. My daughter spent months mocking me, stealing from me, setting me up for financial ruin. My daughter destroyed herself, and now she wants me to fix it. Silence. Then quietly, it wasn't supposed to go like this. How was it supposed to go, Rena? You were supposed to feel sick. Not terrible, just off enough that you'd want to leave early. And before you left, we'd ask you to sign one quick paper, just a formality, and you'd be too distracted by not feeling well to read it carefully. Then we'd have the house money, and everything would be fine. Everything would be fine for you. I'd be broke. You'd have figured something out. You always do. You're smart that way. So you were counting on me to survive your betrayal? It wasn't betrayal. It was just business. Trent said families help each other, and this was us asking for help. By poisoning me. By encouraging you to be generous. Dad, you don't understand how hard it is out there. How expensive everything is. How much pressure we're under. We needed this. What you needed was to stop living beyond your means and expecting me to fund it. So that's it? You're just going to let me fail? No, Rena, I'm going to let you experience the consequences of your choices. There's a difference. I hung up. Sunday, Frank Morrison called with news. The bank confirmed everything. All co-signatures revoked, all fraudulent transfers reversed. You're clear of the $43,000 in obligation. They're actually investigating Trent for the fraud, but that's their business now. What about any future attempts? I've filed documentation with every major bank and credit institution. Your name is flagged. Nobody can add you to anything without multiple verifications and in-person confirmations. You're protected. Thank you, Frank. Calvin? What you did here, protecting yourself from family exploitation, more people should have that courage. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty about it. But I did feel guilty. Not about protecting myself, about what came next. Because I knew Rena, knew her patterns, knew that desperation would make her dangerous in different ways. And I couldn't let her threaten us again. Monday morning, Rena was waiting outside our house when we woke up. She'd been there all night, based on the coffee cups in her car. When I opened the garage, she got out, moved to block my truck. We're talking. Now. Get out of the way, Rena. Not until you listen. Really listen. Her eyes were red, face puffy. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But you've punished me enough. You've taken everything. My career, my marriage, my reputation, my future. You won, okay? You won. Now help me. Help you what? Rebuild so you can do it again? I would never. You already did. You tried to poison me. You committed fraud. You spent months treating me like a resource instead of a person. I got out of the truck. You don't get to play victim now. I'm not playing. I'm actually desperate. I'm about to be evicted. I have $300 to my name. What am I supposed to do? Get a job. Find a roommate. Make a budget. Do what millions of people do every day. Those people have references. They have work history that isn't radioactive. Nobody will hire me because of what you did. What I did was protect myself from what you were doing. By destroying me. By letting you destroy yourself. I just stopped catching you. She stood there, trembling with rage or fear. I couldn't tell which. So that's it. Your only daughter, and you're just done. My only daughter tried to hurt me for money. Yeah, I'm done. Fine. Her voice went cold. Then you should know I'm not done. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to rebuild. And when I do, you'll regret this. Is that a threat? It's a promise. You think you're safe now? You're not. You'll never be safe. Because I will spend the rest of my life making sure you pay for what you did to me. She got in her car and drove off. Kara had watched the whole thing from the porch. She just threatened us. Yeah. What are we going to do? Finish it. I made 3 calls that morning. First, to Madison, Rena's former friend. Madison, this is Calvin Rourke. I need a favor. She hesitated. What kind of favor? I need you to tell me about Rena's other schemes. The ones you know about. The ones she pulled on other people. Why? Because she just threatened me and my wife, and I need to make sure she can't threaten anyone else. Silence. Then, give me an hour. She sent files, screenshots, messages, evidence of scams Rena had run on other influencers, fake collaboration promises, stolen content, manipulated contracts, years of it. Second, to Ray Vaughn. Ray, remember when you said I could call if I needed anything? Sure do. I need you to help me document some things, legally, with witnesses. What kind of things? The kind that make sure someone can't hurt my family again. I'm listening. Third, to Frank Morrison. Frank, I need to know about restraining orders. The permanent kind. Tuesday, I compiled everything, the loan fraud evidence, the Thanksgiving setup evidence, the screenshots of Rena's mockery, the files Madison sent about her other scams, the forged signatures, the threatening statement from Monday morning that Ray had witnessed and documented. I created a comprehensive dossier, clear, organized, devastating. Wednesday, I met with a different lawyer, one who specialized in family law and protective orders. Her name was Patricia Klein, and she had a reputation for aggressive advocacy. She read through everything without comment. When she finished, she looked at me with something like respect. Mr. Rourke, this is one of the most thorough documentations of family exploitation I've ever seen. Is it enough? It's more than enough. We can get a permanent restraining order. We can refer the fraud evidence to law enforcement. We can potentially pursue a civil case for reimbursement and damages. What do you want? I want her unable to come near us ever again. I want her unable to use our names, our credit, our anything. I want a wall between us that she can't breach. Consider it done. Thursday, Raina was served with papers. Restraining order hearing scheduled for the following week. Notice of criminal fraud investigation. Civil suit for damages. She called me screaming. You're suing me? Your own daughter? I'm protecting myself from someone who threatened to spend her life making me pay. You made the choice, Rena. I'm just responding. This will destroy me completely. You tried to destroy me first. Friday, I got a call from Haley Stirk. Mr. Rourke, I wanted to let you know something. Rena reached out to me, begged me to give her another chance, said she'd do anything. When I refused, she threatened to expose supposed secrets about my business unless I paid her $50,000. What did you do? I reported it to the police. Extortion is a crime. I thought you should know she's escalating. Thank you for telling me. Mr. Rourke, whatever happened in your family, whatever the full story is, I want you to know I believe you did what you had to do. I've seen people like Rena before. They don't stop unless they're stopped. Saturday morning, the police showed up at Rena's apartment, arrested her for attempted extortion. She spent the weekend in custody. Kara and I sat on our porch that evening, watching the sunset. It's really over, she said. Almost. What's left? The hearing, the final restraining order, making sure she can never come back. And if she tries anyway, then she goes to prison, real prison, for a long time. Kara was quiet for a while. Then, do you feel good about this? No, but I feel safe, and that's what matters. The hearing was scheduled for Tuesday morning. Civil court, family division, Judge Raymond presiding. I arrived early with Patricia Klein, carrying our documentation in 3 organized binders. Rena showed up late, looking destroyed, no lawyer, no support. Just her, wearing clothes that had been expensive once and now looked slept in. Judge Raymond called us to order. This is a hearing for a permanent restraining order, Rourke versus Rourke-Hale. Mr. Rourke, you're the petitioner? Yes, Your Honor. Present your case. Patricia stood. Your Honor, we're requesting a permanent restraining order based on a pattern of financial exploitation, attempted poisoning, fraud, and direct threats. I'd like to present evidence chronologically. For the next hour, she walked through everything. The screenshots, the loan documents, the Thanksgiving incident, Madison's testimony via affidavit, Trent's signed confession, the Monday morning threat that Ray witnessed, the attempted extortion of Haley Stirk. Every piece of evidence, organized and devastating. Rena sat there, face expressionless, as her entire life was dissected for the court. When Patricia finished, Judge Raymond looked at Rena. Ms. Rourke-Hale, do you have representation? No, Your Honor. Do you wish to respond to these allegations? She stood slowly. Your Honor, my father is making me sound like a monster. But he's leaving out context. I was desperate. Trent and I were struggling. We made bad choices, but we weren't trying to hurt anyone. We were trying to survive. By poisoning your father? It wasn't poison. It was just something to make him feel a little sick, so he'd be more agreeable about the loan. I wasn't trying to hospitalize him. Judge Raymond's expression didn't change. You intentionally gave your father food containing a substance you knew would make him ill in order to manipulate him into signing financial documents. Is that correct? When you say it like that, I'm saying it accurately. That's what happened, yes or no? Rena's face crumpled. Yes. And when your husband ate that food instead, he had a severe allergic reaction that ended his athletic career? That was an accident. But the intent to poison someone was deliberate. I wasn't trying to poison anyone. I was trying to get help from someone who had more than we did, by committing fraud, forgery, and assault. Judge Raymond looked at the documents. Ms. Rourke-Hale, I've seen a lot of family exploitation cases. This is one of the more calculated ones. You didn't act on impulse. You planned this over months. You enlisted your husband's help. You created elaborate schemes. And when you were caught, you threatened further harm. I was angry. I said things I didn't mean. You told your father you'd spend your life making him pay. You attempted to extort $50,000 from your former employer. Those aren't empty words. Those are criminal acts. Rena looked at me then, really looked at me, and for just a moment I saw her understand, not just that she'd lost, that she'd destroyed herself. Your Honor, Patricia said, we're also requesting that this order include provisions preventing Ms. Rourke-Hale from using her parents' names, credit, or any identifying information in any financial or business context, and we're requesting the court forward the fraud evidence to the county prosecutor for criminal consideration. Judge Raymond nodded. The restraining order is granted. Permanent injunction. Ms. Rourke-Hale, you are prohibited from contacting, approaching, or communicating with Calvin or Kara Rourke in any way. This includes direct contact, indirect contact through third parties, social media, email, phone, or mail. You are prohibited from coming within 500 feet of their residence or place of work. You are prohibited from using their names, credit, or identifying information for any purpose. Violation of this order will result in immediate arrest and criminal charges. Your Honor, please, I'm not finished. I'm also referring this case to the county prosecutor's office for review of potential criminal charges including fraud, forgery, assault, and extortion. You should expect to hear from them. Rena's knees buckled. She caught herself on the table. Additionally, I'm ordering you to pay restitution to your father for all documented fraudulent charges and fees. The total amount, as calculated by the petitioner's attorney, is $67,432. You have 90 days to begin a payment plan, or we'll move to wage garnishment and asset seizure. I don't have any assets. I don't have wages. I have nothing. Then you should have thought about that before you committed fraud against your own parents. Judge Raymond closed the file. This hearing is concluded. The order is effective immediately. Rena turned to me as we stood. Dad, please, don't do this. I'll leave you alone. I'll never contact you again. Just don't send me to prison. Please. I looked at my daughter, at the woman who'd mocked me, stolen from me, tried to poison me, the woman who'd destroyed her own life through greed and entitlement. You made your choices, Rena. Now live with them. Patricia and I walked out. Behind us, I heard Rena sobbing, heard the bailiff telling her to calm down or she'd be held in contempt. I didn't look back. Outside, Kara was waiting by our truck. How did it go? It's done. Permanent restraining order, restitution order, criminal referral. She can't touch us ever again. What happens to her now? That's not our concern anymore. We drove home through clear autumn afternoon. The leaves were changing, the air was crisp, and for the first time in 18 months, I felt like I could breathe properly. That evening, Patricia called with an update. The prosecutor's office reviewed the case. They're moving forward with charges, fraud, forgery, attempted extortion. Rena's looking at 3 to 5 years if convicted. What about a plea deal? Probably. First offense, some sympathy factor, but she'll serve time, and she'll have a felony record. Good. Mr. Rourke, I have to ask, do you feel any guilt about this outcome? No, I feel relief. That's the right answer. 3 weeks later, Ray stopped by with news. Thought you'd want to know. Your son-in-law left town. Heard he took a job in Texas, some gym chain. Starting over under a different name, basically. Good for him. And your daughter took a plea deal. 18 months suspended sentence if she completes restitution and probation. After Ray left, I sat with that information. Trent was gone. Rena was neutered. The threats were contained, but I wasn't satisfied yet. Friday morning, Kara called from her office. Calvin, you need to come downtown, now. What's wrong? Just come, please. I drove fast. When I got to her building, she was in the lobby with security and police. What happened? Kara pointed to a package on the security desk. Plain brown box, no return address. Security flagged it, she said. They x-rayed it. There's something electronic inside. The police officer nodded. Bomb squad's on the way. We're evacuating. Did either of you receive threats recently? I thought about Rena, about the restraining order, about how desperate she'd been. My daughter. We have a permanent restraining order against her. Rena Rourke Hale. The bomb squad arrived. They moved the package to a containment vehicle and opened it remotely. An hour later, the officer returned. Not explosive. Digital recorder with a timer. Set to play a message at noon. We traced the package. Mailed from 3 blocks from where your daughter's staying. Rena sent a disturbing voice message filled with accusations and emotional manipulation, which also violated the restraining order. The officers informed Calvin they could arrest her, and he agreed. Kara was concerned, but Calvin believed Rena was targeting her deliberately, knowing she was more sympathetic. Rena was arrested for the violation. Later, a psychiatric facility called Calvin because she had listed him as an emergency contact, but he asked to be removed, refusing involvement. By Friday, Calvin's bank confirmed that he was fully cleared of the fraudulent charges. Rena's probation officer later asked if Calvin would accept reduced restitution since she had no income, but he refused. That weekend, Calvin and Kara visited his environmental remediation project. The land had healed, and Kara gently questioned whether he approached Rena the same way he handled toxic contamination. He said yes. On Monday, a certified letter arrived. Rena had violated probation again and would now serve the full 18-month sentence. Kara asked if he felt anything about it. Calvin said he felt safe, because every consequence Rena faced came from her own actions. He prepared for work, ready to move on. As he drove away, he saw Kara watching him, still unsure of everything that had happened, but undeniably safer now that the threat was gone.